Hi, welcome everybody. As I say, I'm Alison Wells from the Community Engagement Team, and welcome to our first interagency meeting of 2023. Is this anybody's first interagency meeting? Right, okay, so the idea behind these is for representatives of the voluntary and community sector across Bath and North East Somerset mainly, but everybody's welcome, to share information about what they do and to network. So to make good use of the meeting, we're here facilitating it, but it's your meeting. And make good use of the chat to share contact information and details of anything you want to share. Is there anybody that needs to get away early? And I'll try and bring them up first. So Michelle, Midford Manor. Right, I've tried to make a list of names. So if I miss you, and Tracy, anyone else? And Kath. Okay. Just shout. And Anne, sorry. I think that's everybody. Right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Michelle, Midford Manor.
Hi.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, thanks very much, Alison. So I'm Michelle, I'm Customer Relationships Manager for Midford Manor, which you can see behind me. For those who may or may not know, it's a new purpose-built care home that we're building up in Odd Down, just across from the Sainsbury's. Anybody who shops in Sainsbury's will have seen us. We now have a show suite here, so people can come and have a little look around an element of the home, and we will be looking after people with nursing care needs, dementia care needs, and we are residential as well. And unusually we also have suites or residences, which are larger areas, a lot of couples and things interested. A bit different. We are very animal friendly, so lots of people inquiring about bringing their animals to live with them, which we think is really important. And it is absolutely beautiful, stunning home, and we're opening end of June, beginning of July. So I sort of recognise a few faces. Nice to see everybody, and you are very welcome, obviously, just to come by. We're here in the show suite Monday to Saturday, 9 till 4. So if you wanted to come and have a little look around or get any details, do feel free, or I'll put my email in the chat as well, if that helps anyone. But thanks for inviting me.
Well, thanks, Michelle. So has anyone got any questions for Michelle?
Oh, yes, please. Can I ask a question, Michelle? Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
Hi. Will you be doing any events like for the community? So for people who aren't living there, for I don't know, like a lunch or anything like that. Because I manage Live Well Baines, which provides information, includes providing information for adults who need care or support. So we could promote any lunches or events or whatever's happening.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely will be. One of the things that will be really important to us is engaging and being a part of our local community. We're doing lots of things with the schools that surround us as well, having professional days, open days, and a number of things. So that's amazing. It'd be really good to get your details, Melanie. Perhaps we can connect. Lovely.
Well, thanks both. Tracy Kovac.
Good afternoon all. I see a few faces that I recognise and a few names also. So good afternoon and Happy New Year. Is it still too late? Who knows? So I work for Cool Ventures, and we're the funding training provider and business support service for Baines. So when we say business support, we mean that's for everybody. So whether it's those looking to start a business, so it could be the residents locally, anyone over the age of 16 is free to come along to our webinars and training. And it extends to trading business and existing businesses within the SME space, so the smaller end, not your big corporates, and they have to be local. And then we branch out into supporting social enterprises, KICs, not-for-profits, small local charities, etc. So fully rounded, fully inclusive, and it goes across the gamut of absolute everything you would need to know, whether it's how to start, how to do your marketing, how to choose your marketing. Do you want to do Facebook? We've got a course on that. Whether it's Etsy, could be Instagram, and then there's the more formal stuff of what's your marketing plan looking like, how you're going to grow the business, etc., etc. I mean, this quarter alone, we're running over 19 different topics. So lots to see and lots to do. With your permission, Alison, if I email you our schedule, it's just a one-pager. If you could flash it out to everybody after, that's it. And it's totally funded by the local authority. You can have up to 12 hours. So you're not limited to just one, 3-hour session or whatever. And yeah, what's not to like?
Brilliant. Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, if you send anything over, if anybody wants to send us anything, then it will go into our interagency bulletin for sharing. The mailing list for that's got about 1,000 contacts on it, so it's a really, really good way of getting information out to people. So yeah, has anyone got any questions for Tracy? No.
Yes.
Oh,
Can
yes,
I
sorry.
ask Tracy? I didn't catch the name of your organisation. Did you say Cool Ventures?
Cool Ventures, yeah.
Cool with a C.
COOL.
Yeah, Ventures.
As in, this weather's quite cool. It's
Not cold vent, not freezing cold Ventures.
No.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you both. And Kath, was it you that needed to get away as well?
I need to leave prompt. I'll be able to stay for most of it, but yeah.
We'll come to you next then, Kath. Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm the clinical manager for a local charity called We Hear You, and we provide free counselling to people impacted by cancer or other life-threatening conditions. So the majority of the work that we do is around cancer, but it could be strokes, heart disease, multiple sclerosis, COVID, anything that could be life-threatening. And we work with adults, children from the age of 4, and we work with couples. So all our counsellors are qualified and paid, bar 2 students who we have working with us. So we're about 30 counsellors in total that work for We Hear You. And we've got services, we're based in Frome, but we've got services in Bath, Trowbridge, Bradford-on-Avon, Peasdown, Midsummer Norton, and then further afield in Yeovil Street, Salisbury, Devizes and Swindon. So people self-refer to us. So if anybody wants to access our counselling, you just look at our website, We Hear You. You can contact through the website or pick up the phone, and you'll speak to a counsellor within a couple of weeks to do an initial assessment. And then our waiting lists are around 3 months at the moment, but longer for our children's services, which are in more demand. We also go into schools. If there's a child that can't be seen in our community services, we will helicopter into a school and see them in a school so that they don't miss out if their family aren't in a position to get them to our after school community services. We also offer mindfulness courses for people and outdoors courses to help them use nature to build their resilience around illness. And so we work with people that are ill directly. We work with people who are the loved ones or family members of people that are ill. And we also work with people that are bereaved. So it's any point in that sort of illness journey that you find yourself in, we can offer you some support. I think that's about covers everything.
Well, thanks, Kath. It's a fantastic work that We Hear You do. And thank you for sharing that. Has anyone got any questions for Kath? Sorry, you're all on two screens at the moment, so I'm flicking in case there's any. No? Oh, well, thank you, Kath. It's great to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Right, if I could, I think Anne Donaghy, I think you said you needed to go. Hi, welcome, Anne.
Hi. So yeah, I'm Anne Donaghy. I'm one of the support team at the Carers Centre. So that's the Carers Centre covering BAMES. We're based in Bath. And basically, we are an organisation for people who are unpaid carers. So, people that are caring for friends and family, that kind of thing. If anyone's got any questions to me, please stick them in the chat or get in touch with us. But the thing that we're kind of currently promoting at the moment is what we're calling emergency plans. So, well, there are a lot of carers out there. There's a very high proportion of people that are carers. And the idea of an emergency plan is what would happen if you as the carer, for some reason, were unable to do your role as a carer. We get lots of people who tell us, you know, I had to go into hospital for a few days. I had a heart attack, I had to go into hospital. And then I was worrying about the person I'm caring for and what was going to happen to them. So what we do is we sit down with the person and we actually put together a plan which has things like emergency contacts, what help they're giving to the person that they're caring for, any professionals that are working with them as a family or as the, you know, the individual that's being cared for. And then that plan can then be shared with other emergency contacts or kept in a kind of, I don't know, a sensible place where it can be picked up if it's needed to be. So we're currently promoting that. So if you know of any carers that might benefit from that, might find it a useful thing, please talk to them about it and tell them to get in touch with us. They can either email us or they can call our support line and we can book them in to do the plan. Usually it's about half an hour to an hour over the phone usually, but we can do face-to-face as well if people want us to. So that's me.
Thanks, Anne, that's great. Yeah, do pop your details in the chat so that people can pick up with you. But has anyone got any questions for Anne in the meantime? No? Is there anyone else that needs to get away quickly? Any hands? No. Right, okie dokie. I'm going to go down my list and hopefully cover you all. So Alan Brown, are you here?
Hi
Yeah,
there.
hello Alan. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Excuse the background. I just want to introduce myself. This is the first time on the call. We're at Bath Community Transport based at St Lawrence Hospital, and primarily we offer group transport to membership groups. We've got 13-seater minibuses, 7 of them in total, all with disability ramps and fold-in side steps for easy access. And so obviously people like Midford Manor Care Home, hopefully they'd like to become members and benefit from subsidised trips out to lunches or places of interest. We're part of WECA. They fund us about 50% of our cost, and then we do make a charge for the trip as well, but it's very affordable compared to hiring your own.
Brilliant, thanks Alan. It's a very valuable service for people. Has anyone got any questions for Alan? Oh, Robert.
Right, so just out of mood. It's the flavour of the year or month. Community transport. You're all no doubt aware that rural transport, at least, is on the verge of collapse through underfunding and non-use, and just the fact there's not much of it anyway. The community, the question I'd like to ask is that of Alan Brown is that you have a model which obviously does work, and I'm looking as chairman of the parish council and on the committee of Baines Rural Transport Group, which really is south of Bath, on how community transport, i.e. not the stagecoach or first bus or whatever, can be increased in number to provide transport for all kinds of people, and ad hoc transport, that is, it'll go to people's homes and to places and take them, say, into Bath or any other small town, and how that works. There are examples. For instance, the Harting minibus, that's Harting West Sussex, has been going for over 50 years successfully without break. Very reasonable there. Now, West Sussex is not Somerset, I know, but the I'd like to know much more about that, because I'm trying to build up a case of how community buses, which of course you don't pay the driver, that's the I think, people retired like me, well, might or might not volunteer for driving the bus, no charge. But it is a model or a paradigm which works. And so I'm very pleased. I hope that Alan might be in touch with me about how you could get this all around.
Thanks, Robert. So Robert's chair of English Combe Parish Council, so just on the edge of Bath there. I think it's something, Robert, we'll pick up with you perhaps at a forum meeting. I'll have a chat with Mark when I get back into the office. I know he's planning the agenda for the next Bath Avon forum meeting, so we can look at that. But Alan, what are there sort of boundaries of where you cover? Do other community transport cover other parts of the district?
So yeah, we do stick to Bath and the immediate surrounding areas. Obviously, there are Middleton Road Dial-A-Rides and Keynsham Dial-A-Rides and other operators are in the surrounding villages. It is a bit of a problem, really. There's more demand on our service than we've really got space to fulfil. Certainly from a routine and regular perspective, we've already got a large number of groups that use us regularly every day or every Tuesday or every Thursday, or etc. So we've got very few gaps to slot anything regular in. There might be one or two small ones, but certainly on a demand responsive transport, which Becca is trying to organise, we haven't really got the capacity to free a bus all day, every day of the week. But what I'll do is I'll drop my email address into the chat, and if anyone's got any questions, it'll probably be easier to converse over email than going through all of it. We have a section 19 permit for those that means anything to. We don't have a section 22.
Thanks, Alan. That's great. And there are some great examples, Robert, and we can pull those together to share. And there's also a Wellow community bus that has been running for many, many years, which the village organised itself, which is a great model for what can be done. So we'll pick that up with you at a later date. Thank you. Kerry, are you here? Kerry Callanmore, is it?
Perfectly pronounced for the first time, which
brilliant.
no one ever manages, so well done.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm new. I am the new digital inclusion project lead at Age UK Bath and North East Somerset. I only started towards the end of November, so I'm still sort of finding my feet, if I'm honest. There are a few things that I'm on the hunt for if people are interested. So I'm looking for communication channels at the moment to reach out to people who might be interested in being digital champions. So that's volunteer roles that would be probably at most a couple of hours a week. We will provide full training for that. And those can be people who are interested in coming under the Age UK banner as volunteers, or I'm quite keen to do in-house training as well for other organisations in the local area. I'm also looking for organisations who'd be interested in working in partnership to deliver digital support to older people. So at the moment I am talking to people like Connecting Generations, I'm talking to Connecting Twerton, various people in the council and the RUH as well, just seeing if there is anyone who might benefit from me or potentially volunteers coming in and offering support. My background is in activism, so I'm not precious at all about protecting my space. I'd rather us work in collaboration and pool resources, because I think that is the best way to get things done. I am also just wanted to give a shout out about our Click Cafe, which has been running for much longer than I have been in post. This has been running for years, and it happens every Wednesday at St Michael's Centre in Bath, and that is from 10 till 12 AM, and older people can book in for an hour session 1-to-1 with our digital champion volunteers, and they can get help with anything digital, whether that's computers or tablets or smartphones or anything like that. In the future, I'm hoping to do a tablet loan scheme, so if anyone's interested in talking about that sort of thing, then I'm here. I'm keen to do home visits, 1-to-1 visits as well with older people who might want to get to grips with their own technology, doing drop-in sessions at places like Bath and North East Somerset libraries, and also the warm spaces at the moment, although I know that's got a finite amount of time. So I'm also keen to connect with anyone who's got regular places where perhaps I could just pop up and help. I'm also very keen to do residential home sessions as well. So if that sounds like something, particularly Michelle, I spotted you, then that would be brilliant. But yes, as I say, I'm at the very sort of early stages of my role at the moment and raring to go. So if anyone wants to just meet for a coffee to chat through ideas, do just drop me a message. I'll pop my email in the chat as well.
Brilliant, thanks, Kerry. And I think, you know, this meeting is a great place for you to start and meet a lot of people in a short space of time. So I hope, has anyone got any questions for Kerry at this stage? Oh, Chris.
Yeah, hi, Kerry. I'm treasurer of Salford Community Association. We've run a computer cafe once a month, probably for the last 4 or 5 years, 10 till 12 on a Monday morning once a month. I have to say attendance is dropping off. I just wonder whether you had any secrets in terms of encouraging people to come along, really.
That's a really good question. Ours weirdly is going up at the moment, and I don't know what the answer is to that. So we've been doing some awareness raising via our already established newsletters and things. And I know that having some presence at libraries and stuff like that has helped us. But really at the moment, it's sort of hit and miss, if I'm honest, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, we advertise it widely through a magazine that we put through every door within the village and 1,000 in Keynsham.
Yep.
But yeah, we only get a couple. We had digital champions from the local school come along and help at the one in January, which we do once a year. But sadly, we didn't get enough people to come along wanting help.
No, well, I mean, one of the things that I've certainly found effective is rather than actually trying to target the service users themselves, is reaching out to friends and family who might know older people in the community who have devices. So there's a lot of families who bought older members of their family devices during COVID lockdown in order to keep in touch. And then that sort of hasn't mobilized into skills necessarily. So actually talking to the children of those people has been quite useful in getting those people encouraged to come along and to give them the confidence to come along as well. So that, I don't know if that helps at all, just changing the people that you're talking to a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think we'll do it again in February, but I think we're getting close to probably going to twice every other month.
Okay, well, if you'd like to
have lots of volunteers happy to help people, but
okay, perhaps we can collaborate on something then, Chris. You know, we could because I think we might be able to send some people your way if you pop me an email or something.
Okay, pop your email up in the
shall do. Yep,
in the chat. Cheers.
Oh, sorry, I'm chatting away. Rookie mistake. Still on mute. Great conversation between you, and yes, you know, collaborating is definitely the way to go. And there's also the volunteer, as well as the interagency bulletin. There's the volunteer service, which is currently being run by HCRG Group. So we can put you in touch, or put anybody in touch with them. They can help promote volunteer opportunities in the district as well as helping people who want to volunteer be matched up with the right opportunities for them. So I'll do a bit of Googling and pop something in the chat myself in a moment. Right, so George Clutton, welcome.
Hello, so I'm from the Town Park in Radstock. I guess I wanted to pop along just to see what happens, but we are currently doing lots of different things, but we also run a community library, so really interested in the last presentation because that would be fantastic. We are always looking for more advice and bits to come in to give information, do workshops or anything in the area, so that would be fantastic. And if anyone wants to work with us, then that'd be great as well. So yeah. We also run a food club on a Friday, so we host that in the library. So the food club is a paid for service. It's £3.50 a box, and our families go away with a box or bags full of goodies, for including fresh food. So some weeks they will get meat, some weeks they will get vegetables, most weeks they get vegetables, bread, and bits and pieces of staples as well. So we've got lots and lots of bits going on at the moment. We are always looking for new volunteers, so we try to extend our library opening hours. So if anyone has people who would like to volunteer, then we'd be more than happy to have that, including people to support the food club and the future of that. As I said, we are also looking at purchasing the church in Radstock, so we are looking for people who maybe want to run pop-up sessions, and we want to fill the building. So yeah, so if anyone would like to do some more things in Radstock, that would be amazing.
Brilliant, thanks George. And it's great to see some parish town councils represented at this meeting as well, because they just do the most fantastic work in our communities too. Mel, have you got a question? You got a hand up. Is that a question for George?
Just a quick question. I had a bit of a computer blip and I didn't hear where you work. Sorry, George, or your organisation.
Hi, so I'm the town clerk in Radstock.
Thank you. Got it, thanks.
Great. Anyone else got any questions for George? No. Thanks, George. We'll move on to Michelle Gorham. Michelle, you here?
That was me. Sorry, I got my name. I put my name of where I was from.
I knew this would happen. Trying to write them down as people were coming in. Is it Dinah Elzane?
Dina, yeah. Hi.
You know, I thought but it'll be one or the other.
It's all right, yeah.
Welcome.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dina from ACH. I'm a community engagement and outreach officer. So at ACH, we provide services to integrate refugee and migrants communities to the UK. And I would like to give a shout out to our upcoming webinar on the 2nd of February. We're going to run an employment rights webinar for Ukrainian nationalities. I will put the details and the Eventbrite link on the chat. Also, we do run several classes with our training department, Himelo. We do run maths, English, reading and writing, and introduction to green employability. We offer them a free bus ticket, coffee and refreshment. And for the maths class, at the moment, we offer free £50 voucher on completion. One of the projects we're running at the moment is migrant business support. If you know anyone from third country nationality and doesn't hold the UK or EU passport other than Ukrainian, they can apply for this support as everyone who would like to establish their business in the UK or exploring self-employability. Thank you.
Thanks, Tina. That's great. Has anyone got any questions? No? Brilliant. Thank you for attending. Appreciate that. So, Holly, we got Holly? No? Right. Who's next? Chris Essex. Welcome, Chris.
Hi there. Yeah, just a couple of things I was going to talk about. One was Tracy's. Is Tracy still on here? Yeah, Tracy's still on here. Just to say that we're going to be running the second jobs fair in Salford on the 25th of February. Very much appreciate the help that Tracy and Cool Ventures are giving to support that. We had a reasonable turnout at the last one in September, so we thought we'd give it another go. Does take quite a lot of work to try and find businesses who want to come along and have a free stall. It's absolutely no cost. We provide the facilities all for free. There'll be free tea and coffee alongside, but just to try and help both local businesses find people and also local people find new employment opportunities. Warm spaces. I don't know whether anybody else on the call here is running warm spaces. Within Salford, at the community centre, we run 2 weekly warm spaces, one on a Saturday morning and one on a Monday morning. The local sports club run one on a Wednesday. One of the local churches runs one on a Monday afternoon every week. And we also at the community hall run monthly drop-in sessions for retired people once a month, and also for those on their own once a month. I have to say the attendance is pretty disappointing, I think, to put it mildly. The only people who tend to come are those who are perhaps already at the hall for another event and think, right, I'll just pop in and have a free tea and coffee. Not many of those, which I think are target audience, are coming certainly to our sessions being offered at the moment. So I wonder whether anybody's got any experience in their villages of how they've been going and how perhaps they get more people along. We have widely publicised this to every household in the village, both through Facebook and through the magazine that we deliver to every house. And the third and final subject I was just briefly going to talk about was the support we provide to Ukrainians, which picks up on Dina, who's just talking. We have a Salford support group that cover not only those who host in Salford, but also in Keynsham and Corston in local villages. Prior to Christmas, we put on a wonderful traditional UK Christmas lunch with roast turkey and all the trimmings. We had 50 hosts and their guests at the event, and our Ukrainian guests provided all the desserts, and there were some wonderful traditional Ukrainian desserts provided for that. We also had Father Christmas along. So that was a one-off event. On a regular basis, we still provide English lessons twice a week, every Wednesday and every Monday. Every Wednesday and every Saturday morning. We provide a drop-in cafe that any hosts and guests can drop into every Saturday morning. And our most recent activity is actually providing furniture and furnishings of all types and descriptions. We've furnished now 2 4-bedroom houses in Keynsham, and as yesterday we furnished another 2-bedroom flat in Keynsham for Ukrainians who are now moving on to the next part of their journey and stay with us. And we have masses of furniture that's been donated by local communities that we've managed to find free storage for locally and around ready to use when others move on to their future homes with us. That's about it. As I say, warm spaces, I'll be interested if anybody else on the calls running warm spaces and what their experience has been.
Brilliant, thanks Chris, always doing fantastic work there in Salford. Are you, going back first to your jobs fair, are you in touch with anyone in our business support team?
Yes.
At council? Good, excellent,
Yes.
That's brilliant. And warm spaces, yes, our team are following up with all the warm spaces, visiting them when we can. We're running the grant programme as well. The community fund that we have is being given in small grants to the registered warm spaces this time. So we
I haven't requested grant funding because quite honestly we're heating the building anyway for other hirers in other
it's a mixed picture, Chris, if I'm honest, from the feedback we're getting. I know Whitchurch, very, very few, so they've decided to close theirs. That was the parish council one. But then others, especially situations like yours where you're open for other things, they have picked up some new people, as the feedback I've been getting. People who are presenting as lonely, really, has been the feedback there. And I think it's maybe encouraged those people to take that first step over the threshold of somewhere that does offer other activities and companionship. So there could be a sort of unseen benefit to these warm spaces of addressing loneliness and isolation, and certainly
we probably did have a few more at the monthly afternoon tea we provide for all retired people although I thought that might be the presence of the Avon Fire Brigade, actually. And the excitement caused by men in uniform.
And interestingly, you're next door to you at the sports club.
They did initially, but a lot of them were badminton players who've been playing in the hall. So, you know, it's.
Yeah, I think they've been quite surprised, I think, and pleased by the response. They've had 16 come along to a brand new venture for them, really. Both the weeks that I spoke to them, they'd had good numbers. I think food is an issue again for some people. I think places offering food are attracting, and also we've got one or two that are doing sort of meals. They're freshly prepared meals, but they can be put in a container to be microwaved later, and you know that's proved popular for those. And there we are getting reports of people, sadly, especially people on prepayment meters, not putting their heating on. So I think at this point, yes, it's a mixed picture, but I think the majority of them are providing a valuable service in some form, whether it's the concept that people had in their head that, you know, but it's they're definitely serving a purpose. So, but thank you for that feedback. And obviously all the warm spaces are on our website. Mel's team run the Live Well website, and they are all listed on there, and a map so you can see who's nearby. Some of them are only open for a couple of hours at a time. I think that makes a difference, because I think then you know somebody has to really plan to go out. I think maybe those ones where there's other things going on and people are sort of walking past and thinking, oh, I'll drop in, might be, but until we're further down the line, we can do a bit more analysis on that. And it's a shame that we need them at all, really, but you're all doing fantastic work and it's very much appreciated. Has anyone got any questions for Chris or comments? No? Let's go back to my list. Liz Kingston, welcome.
Sorry, I just had to unmute myself. Yeah, I'm a parish councillor in Stowe Sutton, based in Bishop Sutton. So that's a quarter of my job. 3/4 of my job is running our community library, which we actually changed from Bishop Sutton Community Library to Chew Valley Library, as we wanted other people in villages in the Chew Valley didn't realise that they could use our services as well. So we've been open. This is our 5th year, with the pandemic in between. But what's I think morphed, I think is the word, out of the pandemic is our cafe. I mean, we have to raise money to pay the rent. We're in a wonderful Baptist chapel in the middle of Bishop Sutton. And our cafe, a meeting place, is almost the primary reason for coming into the library. Although our stats for the library are very good, because we're not open that often compared with other places. But, you know, listening to you all about warm spaces, we registered as a warm space. You mentioned loneliness. We've combated all sorts of things. We're great. There's a great team of people. It's a lovely space, actually. So we've been approached by sort of different organisations. I was very interested. Who was it with the digital? Put it down. Somebody.
Yeah, that was Kerry. Kerry.
Because we had just begun to do the Chew Valley, the Gadget Busters. So we were opening another day, and then the pandemic hit, and I think they lost a couple of volunteers. I think they may be at a school in Chew Magna, but we were, an ideal space to have a workshop or one-to-ones or whatever. So I was very, very interested to hear, well, in fact, everybody that's been talking, to be honest. So we have on average probably about 40, 50 people on a Thursday morning, which are just residents. In the afternoon, it's slightly quieter, but then of course we get the children in after school. Saturday morning has just, you can't even get a seat now. We have upwards of in excess of 50 people. We do offer bacon sandwiches on a Saturday morning, so we think that's quite popular. I think it's the place that we've got, the library, the building, the group of about 15 to 20 volunteers. It's just all worked, it's very busy, and I've always got to think, have we ordered cakes this week, and somebody's on holiday, and so I mean it's quite a consuming thing to run the library, but because it's been such a success, people have been absolutely marvelous, and we were so touched by the number of people that we've managed to help, varying degrees. You mentioned loneliness. We see a lot of that. There's nowhere else in Bishop Sutton you can go and have a cup of coffee. Excuse me, my dog has got a cough, so if you hear horrible, yeah, so that was that. Ukrainians, that was another somebody mentioned. We get our Ukrainian families in. There's True Valley have got a marvelous support network for our friends. We offer them a social space, of which we absorb the cost of that, so that they can come in and meet their friends. We've ordered them library books in Ukrainian language, and of course the little children, of course, they're learning English, so our big array of picture books is absolutely ideal. So that's been a success. What else did I say? We have volunteers from, I think our eldest is about 86 and our youngest is 18. So we have it, and they're in the in between. Some people do once a month, some people do once a week. That was our volunteers. Oh, and we have very, very close links with our school. We visited when the Summer Reading Challenge was on. We had 7 schools to visit to encourage the children to take up the reading challenge. We also have class visits, mainly from our local school here, but also in the building is a very successful preschool. So we've had a volunteer going in and reading them a story once a week. So yes, it was, I'm just interested in hearing what other people are doing, and I've certainly been writing all the things that I've been listening to, and that's me really.
That's great, Liz. Thanks ever so much. And having these community hubs in our rural communities is so important, not just for the residents, but also for the service providers to have a place that they can actually go and meet people, especially as Robert raised the issues around rural transport. To have local facilities where you can go to meet local people is important as well. So you're doing fantastic work.
The thing I should have said is that we work very closely with the village agents.
Yes,
they're absolutely superb.
They
We've got a lot of residents, quite sticky situations. We had a bit of a crisis yesterday, and and it suddenly occurred to me, I must phone her, and she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So, there is support out there for most situations that we come across.
Yeah, thank you, Liz. And yes, the village agents do fantastic work, and they're now part of the community wellbeing hub. So it's possible for them to have people referred more easily to them, and people can, with someone's permission, refer directly into the hub. There's an online form now, or of course you can always contact village agents directly if you're concerned about somebody. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Has anyone got any questions for Liz? Yeah, Robert?
Just one. If you have a village WhatsApp, which I'm sure you do, do you include the village agent on it?
That's a good point. We haven't got a village WhatsApp that I'm aware of. We've got village Facebook, which that's a good question. I don't know. She might be on the Facebook group, but as I will be talking to her again today, tomorrow. It's a good point. I will ask her if she's on it. We for a village, because I think we've got about 500 houses, or there's about, I think our population is about maybe 900, but I may be wrong. I find sometimes these WhatsApp groups are just too big for well, certainly for WhatsApp. Facebook is easier to control, and we've also got a set of twins. One manages our website, and the other one manages Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and they're absolutely fantastic. They've both gone on. Oh no, one's still at university, and the other one's gone on to get a full-time job in marketing, and we've also got a young girl who wants to do a catering thing. So we are able to, what's the word? Promote them on their CV, write them something for their CV. And, but it's a very good point, actually. I don't know if she's on our Facebook page, but we have several, you know, there's Bishop Sutton Parents, there's Bishop Sutton Village, and that's as far as I'm aware. I don't know of any village WhatsApp group, and I would be a bit concerned it might be too big. Does that answer your question?
Yes, just one rider to that. You mentioned with the Facebook, Instagram, and two young people who manage that, because they're exactly the right people to do it. I was thinking along the same line, not to include myself as an oldie, of course, but we've just set up a new website at Englishcombe, and run by somebody who's actually extremely busy, but to try and involve young people who are in the village, not that many, but enough to run it and show an interest in that, in communications, and maybe extend to Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, because they were quite kind with me, because I used to run the Facebook page, and they said, no, just tell us what you want to say, and they seem to have a more snappy way of putting things on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, whereas I think it was saying that I probably sounded the age I am, but no, it's you know, school or people in the village with the youngsters. I mean, it does very well, especially if they want to go into IT or marketing or anything like that. It's something that could be a thing that could be added to their CV as well as the fact they're now, one's in London, the other one's in Plymouth, these twins. But of course, you can manage it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think, Kerry, you've got your hand up. You've got a question for Liz.
Yeah, just a quick one, Liz, because I popped a message in the chat, but just in case you didn't see it, I'd really value talking to you about the Gadget Busters at some point, because I did hear about it on the Age UK grapevine, but I don't know much about it. So I don't know if I could maybe have your email address, or mine is in there as well. That would be great.
Okay, I'll put my email. I will try and find out, actually, because it used to be at the in the True Valley School, but that's now a children's centre. But I don't know if it's all still happening, but I'll see if I can find out.
Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Jane Kemp. Hi.
Hi everyone. Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm new to my role as a volunteer coordinator with Sendias Bath-Ness. I don't know if you all know what that is. It's special educational needs and disabilities information and advice support service. So what the team here do is provide confidential and impartial advice and support to parents and families and children and young people themselves with special educational needs and disabilities. So about their schooling. And I've been here about 3 weeks. I'm just covering somebody who's off temporarily. So yeah, I'm the volunteers coordinator. The team members here, they're information and advice officers. So as well as the paid members of staff, we have volunteers who do that. And we have 2 types of volunteers. Some who are akin to the paid members of staff. They provide anything from light touch to quite in-depth information and advice to families. And then we also have parent champions. And these are parents who will go out and about in the community, come to things like toddler groups or other groups that are happening, and just be there for other parents to approach them, to ask them questions, and they'll provide signposting. So they won't provide in-depth advice and support. That would be a signposting service for those parents. So I'm just getting my teeth stuck into the role really here.
Brilliant, thanks Jane. Hopefully you find these meetings and the bulletins helpful. Has
Yeah.
anyone got any questions for Jane? No? Okay then. Right, who's next? Geeka. Geeka's still here? We've lost a few people as the meeting has gone on. No, I think Geeka's gone. Louise Pryor. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you all. I actually work with Jane at Sendias too, so I won't repeat what she's just said about what we do. But yeah, I also started about 3 weeks ago. I'm working as an inquiry and admin officer, so it's really useful to come along at this stage and just to see the breadth of services in the area, I think, and to get an idea of what's out there, particularly if I end up being the first point of call for families accessing our organisation. So yeah, nice to meet you all.
Brilliant, thank you. And on that note about the breadth of organisations, I'm going to bring in Mel, if she's still with us. Mel, are you there? Oh, lovely.
Yes, I'm here. I was just quick bite of my sandwich, and I didn't want people to watch me.
Fair play. So I called you at the wrong time, maybe. But I think
I knew it would happen. It's okay. I've eaten something now.
The Live Well databases are on our website, and they are a phenomenal way of finding out about the organisations. So I'll hand over to Mel to explain a bit more, because I think they're not as widely used as perhaps they could be and should be.
Sorry, our analytics would beg to differ that. We do have quite a lot of use. So, okay, so yeah, I'm Melanie Hodgson. I work for the council, and I manage a service called Live Well Baines. So it's a statutory service, and it comprises of universal family information. So any information, support, resources, activities, what's on for families in Baines, you'll find on Live Well Baines. Also, it's our send local offer, which kind of complements what the Jane and Louise were talking about. It's anything a parent carer of a child with an additional need or a disability. So it would be things like specialised swimming clubs for children with additional needs, targeted specialist parenting support, etc. And finally, last but absolutely not least, we also manage information, resources, signposting activities for adults who need care or support. And that can be physical, sensory impairment, mental health, a range of any care or support need. So that, excuse me, have a look at the website. I've put the links in the chat. So there's huge amounts of information on there. Also, topically at the moment, Live Well Baines hosts a huge range of cost of living information, and that includes food support, energy, childcare support, carers, debt, anything. And there's so much information that it's done in a sort of concertina. So you click on what you need, and then it brings down a drop-down menu of everything that's available locally. So across the whole of Live Well Baines, it includes council commission services, but also everything that's out there. everything, whether it's a small lunch club in a village, whatever it might be. Also, excuse me, Live Well hosts the warm spaces in Baines, so my team sort of adds them to the resource. We check that Alison and her team will visit some of them and check what they're offering, but we would moderate them as well. And we currently have 52 warm spaces across Baines, so that's great. So if you aren't on Live Well Baines and you would like to register your group, organisation or service, that's free and easy to do. Go onto the website and do that. If you'd rather, me or my team can do it for you. We also have a really popular, we've got like almost 3,000 followers on our Live Well Baines Facebook page. So we share things several times a day, and that could be an event for parent carers with a child with additional needs, or it could be an event for families happening in Baines, or it could be a lunch club or something happening for older people or disabled adults. We also have an Instagram page for the younger people. So I've put the website, the social media, it's all in the chat for you to have a look at. So if you would like to have a look, and if there's anything missing or anything you'd like to add, or you have any feedback or anything really, then just let me know. So yeah, nice to see everybody.
Brilliant. Thanks, Mel. Our team in particular get asked a lot about stakeholder lists for engagement and consultations. And I pointed somebody the other day in the direction of Live Well. They had quite specific groups that they wanted to reach, and they were astonished at the resource and what was there. So do take a look at it, because it is really useful. And as I say, if your organisation isn't on there, it's very easy to get that added. You can do it yourself or do it through the team, as Mel said. Has anyone got any questions for Mel? No? Oh, no? Okay. And Karen, I think you'd like to speak next.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Alison. I'm Karen from the corporate comms team at the council. So I just wanted to nip in quickly to talk about voter ID, photo ID. You may have seen some of the adverts that are rolling out nationally. There's a campaign going. We've all got to show photo ID at the next election, so the local elections in our case. So you can use things like passports, your driving license and things. But if people haven't got any voter ID, there's a form that you can apply for online on the Electoral Commission, or you can print the form and you can send it to the electoral services at Bath, or people can pop into the Guildhall and we'll actually fill in the form for them there. I'll put a link to the press release we've put out about it. But the reason I wanted to talk to you is because although there's that generic campaign going out, we're trying to make sure that we contact some of the key groups that may miss out on this. So if any of you deal with the groups, for instance, older people or homeless people or people who are registered to vote anonymously, there's several groups like that we're trying to contact directly if we can, to get materials into their hands, because it may be that they haven't seen the generic campaign. So Kerry, I've spoken to Laura at Age UK, and she's put me in touch with Sarah as well, because I think she does the day centres. But if anybody else is interested or can help us get the message out, that would be great. I will put my email in the message box, and I'll put a link to the story that we put out yesterday, so you've got a bit of background information on it. But thank you. And thank you, Alison.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate that. And yeah, we'll obviously, as the comms start coming through, we'll obviously make sure that goes out in the interagency, but also the council produces a weekly e-newsletter for residents, and it's a fantastic resource as well. So I'll see if we can pop the link in the chat for signing up for that, because it really is a great way of keeping informed of what's going on. But thanks, Karen. I know you've got to get off to another meeting. Thank you. Right, Joss Clark. You there?
Hi there, sorry.
Hi.
It's Joss Clark here from We Care and Repair. We're based in Bristol, but we serve across Baines. We are basically a home improvement agency, so we will help homeowners stay in their own property for longer. We will do adaptations as well as repairs, so windows, doors, roofs, all those kinds of things. We also have a fund for affordable warmth, so we will do measures to people's properties to improve the warmth in there, so new windows, maybe a boiler, all those kind of measures, insulation, cavity wall insulation, all those sorts of things. And the other thing that we do is we do hospital discharge work, so we get people home from hospital, so that may be some adaptation to the property, whether that be a stair lift, downstairs bathroom, those kinds of things. So we go from the large to the very small disabled facilities grants, and the obviously the urgent repair grant to get people home from hospital. We also have an urgent repair grant, which is for people who are on a low income, and we can help them get an urgent repair done. Now, that's not basic maintenance, that would be a repair. So but the urgent repair grant is only up to £1,500, and that's in 1 year. So these days you're not going to get a huge amount for that, but it might just help people on the way, and we might be able to patch something up and keep it going for a little bit of time. And then we can look at, maybe they could look at getting a Lendology loan, which is a local authority backed loan, or find funding from elsewhere. So that's basically us, really. So we work with younger people with a disability or on a low income, or we work with people over the age of 60, again, working with people, homeowners, and they can either pay for the works themselves, or we work with low income households as well.
Brilliant, thanks, Josh. Fantastic service. It's something I often wish I could access myself. I think finding trusted tradespeople is, really helpful. So fantastic work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Anyone got any questions for Joss? No? Okay, thank you very much. Colin Emmett. Hi, Colin.
Hi, I work very closely with Liz Kingston, and she's already outlined everything that we do at True Valley Library.
Oh, well, thank you both for coming along.
Okay.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. Steve Gass. Steve? I can see the name. No? Emily Malik. Hi, Emily.
Hi there. Hi. I just put something in chat just in case people had to go and I hadn't had a chance to speak. So I joined a little bit late. But yeah, I just wanted to say it's lovely to see everybody here, what you're doing. And we're a nature-based provision, Eco-Wild. So we built a roundhouse at Greyfield Woods, which is open-sided. So you feel like you're surrounded by the trees and they're kind of part of the experience. We also work at Coombe Hay in the little vineyard there, and there's a woodland and a cabin. Sorry, one moment. Sorry, I've got a child at home making a noise in the background. We're also partnering with the community farm at True Valley, so up there quite a lot. Adult wellbeing sessions in their lovely roundhouse. It's all cozy in winter. It's like a winter retreat. We've got sheepskins out over the seats, and then we go up onto the hillside and do some stretching and mindfulness. So it's a really good framework for people who are anxious or stressed or need a break. Also really interested to sort of understand the need for SEN provision. We have got some adults with learning disabilities who access the men's group at Greyfield Woods, and are just aware that possibly there's a need for greater sort of specific provision there. So if anyone is in touch with that audience and feels like they're interested in expanding or sort of talking about specific provision that we could help with at Greyfield Woods in High Littleton, then we have that facility there. to use.
Thanks, Emily. That's really helpful. Has anyone got any questions for Emily? No? Okay, thank you very much for coming. Steve, try again. Steve sent me a little message saying he couldn't get his Zoom to work. Oh, here he is.
Sorry, it's a bit of
That's all right.
slow computer. I had the chat maximised and then I couldn't work out how to get back to the camera. So apologies for that. Yeah, my name's Steve from Somerset Cricket Foundation. We are the national governing body for cricket in the county. So we cover Baines, North Somerset, a bit of South Bristol, and then sort of Somerset County Council area. But we've recently transitioned into a foundation, which just means that we can try and engage with local communities to hopefully use the power of cricket to improve people's lives. We've got sort of 4 key pillars of work that we're quite keen to build some partners around. And those are around sort of older adults, mental health, inclusive communities, and around sort of low affluence. And at the moment in Baines, we've got a programme called Super Ones running, which is a disability cricket programme for 12 to 25-year-olds. That's a weekly programme that takes place at Hayesfield School. We regularly get anything between sort of 10 to 14, 15 young people attend. There's no cost to that. And like I say, it's a weekly programme that people can just turn up and play. We're currently exploring the opportunity of developing walking cricket for older adults in Bath. So we've got 5 other sessions around the county, but none in Baines, and we're quite keen to try and find some volunteers who might want to work with us on that. And then during the summer, there's a programme called Dynamos Cricket, which is typically run at a local cricket club. It's for 9 to 11-year-olds, and those young people would pay for that opportunity. But in the summer, we can run that programme free of charge in areas that might be of low affluence or sort of different communities who traditionally wouldn't get involved in cricket. So again, we might be looking for partners to maybe team up and deliver that in Baines. So quite a few opportunities. I'll put my email in the chat box, and if anyone wants to get in touch, then yeah, very much look forward to hearing from people.
Brilliant, that's great, Steve. And again, it's things that we can help to promote in the interagency bulletin. Has anyone got any questions for Steve? Any comments? No? Okay. Angelina, welcome, Angelina. A chance to unmute. There we go. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm Angelina. I'm from St Monica Trust. I work in the individual giving team. So we have funds that individuals over the age of 50 can apply to. We help with things such as white goods, flooring, or a monthly short-term grant to help with debts, bills, cost of living crisis at the moment. And yeah, just trying to get the word out, really. So if you think you have anyone who might meet our criteria, please make contact and we'll see if we can help.
Great, thanks, Angelina. Anyone got any questions for her? Oh, Chris.
And Angelina, do you make it available through Citizens Advice, your fund?
No, people can apply directly through our website, or we have a Word document, and individuals can either come through a third party, so support worker, or apply themselves.
But right, the reason I asked was that in our village we have a reasonably sized support fund, but in order for us not to get involved in judging the what's the words I'm looking for, the deserving nature of each request we might get, we actually formed an agreement with Citizens Advice in Bath, and we provide a pot of money to them which we top up on a regular basis, and we use them to actually allocate it out to the cases that they get for people who come to them specifically within Salford BS 31.3.
Yeah.
It just takes the onus away from us as a charity having to assess people, which I think is a bit awkward.
Yeah, I mean, we have obviously quite a strict criteria, which someone has to meet. before they can apply. So that's, as I said, age 50, physical disability or mental health issue, live in Bristol, Baines, North Somerset, South Gloss, be on a limited income. And then that's our job, that we make the assessment. So we have guidelines that we work to.
You have the skills in-house to assess whether what they're telling you is genuine.
Yes, I mean, we do work on a policy of trust. And obviously, if it comes through a third party, then it's a lot of those things have already been taken care of. But equally, if someone's on a means tested benefit, that kind of thing, that answers a lot of our questions. But ultimately, you know, we try and work on a policy of trust, as I say.
Okay, thank you both. Right, and Robert Law.
Right. I'm just absorbing the enormous amount of information that's been put out. As you introduced me, I'm chairman of the English Parish Council. We're, it's a very small parish on the edge of Bath. And we don't really have the problems, I suspect, that many of you further out have. If I just quote two, one which I've already alluded to is the transport one, which affects those who haven't got a car, obviously. Those who've got a car usually can pay whatever they have to. Although at the moment with the roadworks, they're actually going up in smoke. The other is how, because we do not have a pub, a shop, a school, we have two churches, a chapel and a church. It's how to get the problem is how to get the community, which is a very friendly one, a very talented one, together. And as you know, with Bishop Sutton, it was interesting that he used the Baptist church there. I'm also church warden, so I'm church warden, chairman, and at the moment temporary clerk. So too much to do really. Of how you get a building like a chapel church that can be used as a community centre. The school building is in fact used as one, but that's by the chapel who live at Southdown. None of them live in the village, but they are really the most wonderful people who provide coffee mornings and services and free meals in the old schoolhouse in their chapel to everyone. But they won't, as all things, nothing really lasts forever, and it predicated on somebody who's quite elderly who's been there a long time. And I think it will diminish, sadly. But there is a feeling in the village as such that, with, furnished by the WhatsApp that I mentioned, which has made a massive difference in the village. I mean, before COVID, people used to just pass and wave and smile, and that's about it, and never knock on your door. But now people have come out, they converse, they know who each other is. The atmosphere is very much better, just for that one thing. But we need to really, we've got lovely mill streams, a piece of land which we lease from the Duchy of Cornwall. And so we have an open space, but not a building. And other than the church, which is 13th century, so probably can operate from about May until September. We've already lost some members of the congregation through inadequate heating, I'm afraid. When I say lost, they died. But I mean, so there you have it. We are really, and that's why I'm really interested. We've just got the new village agent, and she came to the last parish council meeting and to the coffee mornings. And thus my question on WhatsApp, she wanted to be on that. No, I think the problems which will know about and need to elaborate on are to come. You know, with there isn't any sunny uplands as well, and how to organise a village or a parish that meets the needs of people, but also you've got to discover surreptitiously who those people are. Not everybody comes forward, and so therefore I go back to my first point of how does or second point, how does the village get together in a meaningful way, in a friendly way, so they know their neighbours and are concerned about the state of their neighbours. I mean, in the sense of, you know, there might be people who are struggling, and I found actually today's meeting extremely useful. I got a lot of information, a lot of notes. I hope I've just taken photographs, obviously, of the chat, but you know, I shall, if there is some kind of minutes of points of contact, I'd be very grateful. That's all I really have to say.
Thanks, Robert. It's, as I say, it's really helpful to have parishes represented, you know, because they do fantastic work in their communities, and it's great for you to know what else is out there, in case you need to support people that live in your area. Yeah, it's an interesting point about how to get people together. I don't think there's any easy answer, and I think sometimes the smaller communities, people have that real sense of community and looking out for each other, maybe even more so than an urban setting. I don't know, it's something we could maybe talk to some other smaller parishes about. I'm thinking Coombe Hay, they did start their community library in the back of the church. So very traditional church with all the pews and everything, and not a huge amount of space, but they made a little space for the community library in there. So, you know, there could be some ideas coming from those smaller parish councils.
We intend to, with St. Peter's Church, to certainly put a kind of kitchenette in and a loo, which they both have, and I know Coombe Hay. And we also have a space, a chapel, which is a side chapel, which is free of pews and could be converted into, well, it doesn't need much conversion, but a space for a village to meet.
Yeah, lovely. I think Chris has got his hand up.
Yeah, Robert, have you had an invite to the community centre network meetings that we have once a quarter in Baines?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, I would strongly advocate that you try and get along to those.
Yeah.
All the people there are people who run community centres or local churches that form part of the local community.
Yes, so that's the community.
It's called the Community Centre Network, CCN.
Network,
It used to be organised by Baines, but unfortunately cuts along the way meant the part of Baines that used to organise it doesn't exist, but so we're self-organising.
Yeah.
Are you getting the emails?
I don't think I am on that one, no.
Okay.
I mean, our clerk would have got them presumably, but you know, I'm acting as clerk now. Okay.
Yeah, they're organised by Tim Conroy, who is chair
Oh,
of
I
the
know.
group.
Yep, I know Tim Conroy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The date for the next meeting hasn't quite been set, but it will be in the next few weeks, I believe.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Brilliant, thanks, Chris. That's really useful because I didn't know about that group either. So if you want to make sure you're capturing everybody, I'm sure you are, but if you want anything to go in the interagency bulletin about it, to make sure you're picking things up, or an email to all the parishes, we've got a mailing list set up, so it's easy to email.
Yeah, there is quite an extensive email list. It also has representation by Dick Whittington of Wern.
Yeah.
Who you'll know.
Yeah, that's good.
It's been running for probably 10 years, but self-running for probably about the last 5.
That's excellent. Good. Right, well, I think, unless somebody tells me otherwise, everybody's had a chance to speak now. Yeah? Anything else anyone needs to say? No? Brilliant. Well, thanks everybody for your time. Really appreciate it. I certainly found it useful. I hope you did as well. And I've popped our shared mailbox in the chat as well. So if you need to get in touch with our team, that's the one to use. One of us will pick it up. Brilliant. Thanks. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, you.
Alison. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.